It's a live tip, Beaches. It's a live tip. What in the budge? It's your boy Swole Nightmath, Papa Swole.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping,
Derp.
the bacon is sizzling.
Yeah.
Welcome
Come
to the
on
Daily
now, it's your boy. Testing. Testing testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 1234 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, broadcast, gaincast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Happy Anus Day. Indeed, Pole Lioness. Happy Sunday Funday Q&Anus for everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for following. Thanks for plugging in. Thanks for saying what up. Give it to me on my chin. I shall. Golden Girl Fitness wants it on her chin. Anyone? Any takers? Bueller? No, it's okay. I'll do the honors. I'm happy to be here. Happy to dropping some fucking fresh live sack on your faces. We got the Sunday Funday. Hold on. No scratch. We got the Sunday Funday Q&Anus coming up. So if you're new to the podcast, if you're new to the live cast, make sure you drop in the comments below. If you're a virgin swoller, you're a virgin to the swole. We do this every single Sunday, open season Q&A. So Sunday Funday Q&Anus. So we'll just jump right into it. I will talk shit. I will talk shit until we start getting some questions coming in, and then I'll still talk shit. But you could drop your comments now. I'm pouring some more coffee. Coffee. So yesterday I mentioned that I was getting like RF interference. I think we fixed it completely. I'm not hearing top 40 fucking radio anymore. And the difference between hearing top 40 bullshit radio stations and picking up RF frequencies is a difference between a $10 cable and a $40 cable. So I figured it out yesterday, figured out where the missing link was in the chain, because I had done so many upgrades over the past year or so, like piece by piece, upgrading this, upgrading that. And man, oh my goodness. It's such a big deal. And I think a lot of you can relate to this, whatever your field of expertise is, whatever it is that your thing. The more you get involved with your niche, whatever your profession is, you start realizing, oh, there's a whole nother world. And ever since I started doing the podcast, ever since I started doing the streaming, it's like, oh, this is important. Oh, that's why people do this. You look at those cameras or you look at those setups, like, why do they have all these buttons and knobs? Like, who the fuck needs all that? It's such overkill. And then you get involved with it and you think, oh shit, yeah, that's why they need that. Oh, I want that. And then you're like, oh, I need one of those. You get this big fucking box with knobs and stuff, and it's an investment, but it makes so much of a difference. And man, these cables that I've been getting, I just redid my whole fucking, the cables are worth more than the fucking camera after a while. It's ridiculous. Shit gets expensive, but it's actually, it's something that's necessary. You got to put the effort in, but it's so crisp. I don't hear anything. It's like a cemetery. It's like a church. I'm so excited. And I guess if you haven't watched the last couple episodes, I was literally losing my shit listening to that radio interference. I don't know where the fuck it came from. I don't know why it wasn't happening before. Someone just started listening to like top 40 or in the area, or maybe they put up a new tower or some bullshit. It's fucking ridiculous. What's my favorite thing? Anyway. What did I train today, Papa? I trained, I took a nice big dookie. That's what I trained. I trained my butthole a little bit. I trained the toilet. Oh, didn't think I was going to go there. I didn't train yet today. I'm going to train after this Sunday. I'm doing like an afternoon, early evening session today. So it'll come. The pump will come, the walrus said, to make some sick fucking gains of buys, of tries, of glutes and thighs, of abs and caves. That's not what I'm training. Today is going to be an upper body day. Won't coffee keep you up at night this time? It doesn't really have that effect on me per se. Like, I have the ability to stay up if I want to. So, I mean, coffee, this is just black coffee. If I drink coffee, it's not going to affect me staying up late. It's 3:00. God, does coffee make you stay up if you drink it at 3:00? Gee, this is the afternoon coffee. This is afternoon brew. Plus, I'm going to exercise, so I'll fatigue myself. Yeah, that's not going to affect me. Good question, though. Some people do. Some people have are very sensitive to caffeine. And that's why with an elimination diet, you're supposed to cut out caffeine so you could see how your body reacts, how sensitive it is and how it reacts to drinking caffeinated products. Some people are super sensitive to caffeine. You have a cup of coffee, you're wired all day or you're up all night. You're welcome, Vessa. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here. What's your favorite thing to listen while at the gym? I pick a song and I go with it. Sometimes it's a podcast, sometimes it's metal, sometimes it's trance. It's yeah. So my favorite thing is literally what you do. You listen to my podcast. Sometimes I listen to a podcast. Sometimes I listen to metal. Sometimes I listen to trance. I usually like something that's a beat related. I usually like a beat because if I have a beat, I could zone out. Stonks, 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 stonks. Yeah, you're just sensitive to coffee, which is cool. All right, Oscar. Good question. Papa Swoleo. There's no E in Swoleo. Papa Swoleo. That's fucking. What would you recommend for lagging body parts? I've lost 70 pounds since January. Holy shit, that's awesome, dude. 70 pounds since January. That's what, 9 months about? 8 or 9 months? That's perfect. 10 pounds a month. Good speed. And now I'm noticing how smaller one leg is. Do single leg exercises, build it up. Whatever you do, if you have an imbalance for whatever reason, everyone's got a dominant side for the most part, dominant arm, dominant leg. If you are, if you're doing bilateral exercises like squats, if you're doing deadlifts, your body is always going to bias to one side, whether you notice it or not, slightly. The more you practice, the more you can get even pulls, but that's why you want to switch sides. You want to switch hand grips. You want to switch positions if you can, but it's very easy to get biased and just to focus on and not realize that you're dominating one side more than another. So that's totally normal. That's totally normal. Not that you shouldn't be addressing it, but just do more single leg exercises and bias your training more towards one side. You could do single leg squats. You could do single leg RDLs. You could do single leg hip bridges. It depends on what you mean by smaller one leg, the calf, the thigh, the glute. I would start with the glute. Start with the glute on that side, because if you have instability or weakness or imbalance at the hip, then you're going to have different contralateral, you're going to have different movements, in the upper body as well as the lower body. How much cardio should a coach be giving an athlete? That depends on the athlete. What's an upper limit? Not the right question. It depends on the situation. There's too many nuances there to give like a direct answer. I fucked up today, AJ Fat. I fucked up today, had an anxiety attack, and then had a binge. What's your advice? I would meditate. Why did you have the anxiety attack? Why did you have the issue? What triggered it? The more you can, it's the same thing with nutrition. If you figure out what foods trigger the response, like if you know what food has a triggering effect that like sends you down that spiral, if you figure out if there's a food, because sometimes foods can trigger an anxiety attack. You can have like caffeine. If you're not, you can have real sensitivity to those things. It can really amp you up and send you down a bad path. But if you have a certain sequence, certain triggers, that's what's really most important. So you'd have to figure that out for yourself. I did get some new sunglasses. I have some different styles. I got a couple more different shades. I got a blue one, I got black ones, I got rose ones, and I have the silver one. So I decided to get a couple different more things. Getting a little stale. I mix things up a little bit. Area 51 is following you closely. Is that right? Area 51's following me closely. What's going on over there? Anyone get shot yet? Ali Armijo. The elimination diet helped curb my headaches by so much. Thanks for pushing it, Papa. You're welcome. Thank you. That's why I like to push the elimination diet. It's not dogmatic. It's not just, be a vegan. It's not, be paleo, be keto, just because you might have seen results on it. I have a unique way of eating for me. This is what I'm consistent with. This is what I like the taste of. This is what I can maintain. This is what I respond well to now. In the future, it might change. I adjust on the fly and I adjust as needed. But if you don't know what you're doing and you need to really make some changes and you're frustrated and you're struggling and you need to tweak things, you got to don't just guess. Don't guess. Do an elimination diet. Don't guess. Don't leave it up to chance. Fucking apply yourself. Apply yourself and figure it out. Like there's nothing wrong with figuring it out. You don't have to just follow someone else's path. You don't have to just do what someone else is doing. You can actually customize your nutrition. I think a lot of people get lost and think that they have to do keto or paleo or vegetarian, or they have to follow between the lines. Like you can You can have meat. If you don't want to eat as much meat, then don't eat as much fucking meat. I think you're missing out. We talked about it on the main channel. I was talking about veganism and eating less meat. I think people should eat less overall calories. When I was talking about the Ellen DeGeneres thing on the main channel, I don't think that people should not eat meat. I don't think so. I don't think that's a good thing. For most people, I don't think eating meat is the issue. When I said I think people should eat less meat, I think it's as a product of eating less overall calories, which means less meat, less plants, less everything. People are just eating too much fucking food. But I do not think that I think people should be eating grass-fed beef, grass-fed products. I'm not against animal products at all. I think I just need to re-clarify that again. People always take it to extremes, like, oh, no, fuck. I'm not going vegan. I don't think that's the right way. But some people it is. So it's cool. But I think you should customize. Let's see. Can you give me your input on Herbalife? My input in terms of what? What about it? The supplements, you don't need them. I don't think they're necessary at all or useful for the majority of people. It's a multi-level marketing company. What do you want me to say? What do you want to do it for? Are you looking for it for supplements? Or are you trying to create a business? Coffee makes me sleepy. No, it doesn't make me sleepy. All carbs are only net carbs when tracking macros. Well, carbohydrates matter. If you're tracking macros, you should also be tracking your fiber intake. So fiber is a carbohydrate. Net carbohydrates are the ones that are going to impact blood sugar. That's what a net carbohydrate means. Fiber doesn't get absorbed into the bloodstream like that. What podcast do I listen to? I like podcasts that think deep. I don't know the names of all of them right now, but I listen to some about quantum theory and quantum physics and stuff like that. I'm really fascinated by that kind of stuff. Joe Rogan's podcast is good. Was it not Waking Up? That's the app. Sam Harris's podcast is good. There are other ones. After On with Rob Reed is a good one. There's some other ones out there. Hardcore History is great. There's some really good podcasts. I don't listen to a ton of different ones, but I kind of pick and choose. I think people should listen to podcasts like they should read books, just like snippets. I grab a little bit here, move on here. You don't have to stick on one too much. People get into a rut where they're only absorbing one type of content. But one of the reasons why it's not like my podcast is not just like all guests and all different people. It's like some people's podcasts are just other people. It's like, well, go listen to their podcast. I like to have a unique show where we will have guests. We're going to have some more people on coming. But, we do all sorts of stuff here. I like it to be a blend. I don't like it to be every time you listen to a podcast, they have to have a guest. I'm not a big fan of those types of podcasts, like for my own style. 10 inches off my waist. Good shit. Nice. I've lost 160 pounds in the last 12 months, and the worst part of weight loss is twofold. How cold you get all the time. That's weird. And, well, I guess you have less insulation because you're less overweight, and how much strength you lose. That's not necessarily true. You don't necessarily lose strength if you're losing body fat. I don't see why you'd be losing strength if you're losing body fat. If you're building muscle, you're not going to lose strength. So that could just be the way you lost in the method, but that's not necessarily true for everyone. Ashley, what is your opinion on Smith machines? I see a lot of mixed reviews online, so I'm curious what your take is on using them versus a free barbell or dumbbells. Smith machines depends on the Smith machine and depends on what you're using it for. Some are angled. Those are usually not that beneficial. We have one at the gym I go to that's like a 3D where it moves. It's on a track, but it's not locked up and down. You can move it front to back. It's a 3D Smith, essentially. They have maybe specific benefits, but most people should not be using Smith machines. Most people should stay away and do free weights. If you can't do something free weight, you need to be addressing the issues that's keeping you from doing the free weight movement successfully. If you're like, oh, I can't do this effectively, so you're doing Smith instead, you're not addressing the problem, and you're just gonna maybe set yourself up for lack of gains or maybe issues with stabilizer muscles or something in the long run. But there are benefits to it. Like there are definitely certain exercises you can do with it that are very unique and very useful because of the way you can set up the machine. So it's not really, are they good or bad? It's, are you using that tool in the gym for the specific task you need. So think of it like a mechanic shop. You're going to have thousands of tools. If you're a mechanic, or any of you are like carpenters or whatever, you sew, you're going to have a lot of different things that you'll use for different situations, but you're not going to use them all the time. So if you're a mechanic, you're not going to just like go fucking use every wrench every 2 seconds. It doesn't make any sense. You use the wrench that you need for that socket or for that bolt and this, that, and the other. So think of it more like that. But most of your training should be revolving around free weights. Bum. Cool. Greg Bender, been thinking about trying out bone broth. Buy it off Amazon or home cook it. I don't buy it pre-made. I make it myself. You can get grass-fed beef bones. Google it. Find the best site for you that you prefer that has 100% grass-fed beef bones. I make it myself. Get a crock pot. They're like $30. $30, and you put in there with water, with filtered water and some apple cider vinegar, like a couple tablespoons. Let it simmer for 48 to 72 hours. Boom. And it's done. And you're good. Good to go, man. And then you could season it after however you want. How's Papa? Papa's good. Papa's next door with Mama Swole. She didn't want to spend time here today. Not Mama, Papa. So no pups today. No pups. Anne Marie, thank you. I love the podcast. Thank you. Is cardio needed for someone that needs to lose upwards of 50 pounds? Needed or beneficial? Do I integrate weight training, but should I just be focusing on cardio or keep my daily 30 minutes of cardio? You don't really need to do it. Your body's going to adapt really quickly to cardio. 30 minutes a day, it's probably not going to do that much extra for your body, just regular steady state cardio, but you can do it. I would do cardio. I would add cardio in. I would focus on your weight training, focus on your nutrition. This is what I would do. An elimination diet, in which that's not a performance diet. So you have to keep an eye on your training because you might be more fatigued because you're cutting out your body's going through changes. So an elimination diet, so you're cutting out potentially sensitive and, foods that aren't ideal for your body. I would do an elimination. I would keep the cardiovascular activity moderate, focus on your weight training and yoga. So kind of like my little approach for an elimination diet is kind of like a lifestyle reset where you're adding in meditation, but that can be a lot of pieces for some people. Some people can do all this stuff at once. Some people it needs to be more, in steps. So I'm trying to clarify a little bit more to help more people get into it because it can seem very overwhelming. But I think your elimination diet should be more like an elimination approach where it's multifaceted and you're adding in a lot more than just, it's not just nutrition, because it is meditation, it is yoga, it is strength training. And cardio is kind of like the icing on the cake. Like you can add it if you have the energy or the time, but I do not think people should be doing cardio at the expense of not practicing any yoga. Doesn't mean you have to do yoga every day, and doesn't mean you have to do cardio every day. You could do cardio a couple days a week, and you can do yoga a couple days a week. But I don't like it when people are focusing so much on cardio and they're not paying attention to their mobility and their active recovery. Hidden Beauty, I'm planning my elimination diet meal plan this week while listening to the Sunday Q&Anus live. Some live anus, live brown eye fam. Oh. Excellent. Eating meat allows you to eat less in general. It's definitely more satisfying from my experience. It's more satisfying. I don't eat as much when I focus on fattier cuts of meat. Like if I eat a ribeye steak, I'm not eating much more. And I'll have my sweet potatoes, I'll have my fiber and stuff like that. Again, I keep talking about it. I just don't, I've kicked back and forth. Like I think I could do a carnivore diet. I just don't think I would. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not willing to go that far. I'm not convinced that's the best answer, but I can definitely see how you can survive. You just eat. You'll lose a lot of weight because you're going to get full. You're going to get full and satisfied. You're not going to want to eat other things, but it's very extreme. I think the only reason or the main reason that people should be playing around with that before there's any actual real solid studies and stuff, and more feedback and more time to research that kind of stuff. I think the only reason should be if you have major autoimmune issues and you really have to medically figure shit out in those extreme situations. Extreme elimination diets like that should be probably more medical based than hey, I'm going to try to be healthier. Let me cut out everything, but because you got to do that right too. Just like vegan, you got to really make sure you're getting all your organ meats, nose to tail, and you're getting enough, you're covering your bases. So that could be really, really sketchy. And I think if everyone just forget the diet, forget like the specifics of your diet, whether it's keto or vegan or paleo or whatever. If people are just stop, again, like Holly says, if you're not eating so fucking much, if you just stop eating so much, it's going to solve a lot of those issues. Can you tell me more about the starch in sweet potato? You have mentioned it's absorbed different when it's cold. I'm not a professional fucking scientist, but I've read a lot of stuff about resistant starch. And when you cool the potatoes after cooking them, the starch becomes more resistant. I personally like it. I've been eating them cold for years, and only recently did I hear stuff about there being more resistant starch when it's cooled. So you can double check that and whatever. I'm not saying it's the absolute fact or whatever. I'm not an expert on the actual starch in the potato, but I've been eating them cold because of convenience. I a lot of times don't heat up my food because if I was training or I was in a rush, I just kind of got used to eating it cold because it was more convenient. I have to heat it up. I just ate it, boom, done. Like food is fuel. So I treat it like fuel. I just got it in my face hole and that was it. And I just liked the way a cold sweet potato felt. So I didn't know about the starch and the different, composition of it if it's in a different temperature after it's cooked, after it's heated. But I feel better when I eat it when it's cold. I always did. So I heard that. I'm like, oh shit, that makes sense. I just feel like it digests great. I love it as a pre-workout. Like I eat it like half an hour before. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I love it. I don't like Joe Rogan. I don't know why. Maybe too much flat earth discussion over there. He doesn't believe in flat earth. You mean people that come on it? That's like a, what, 0.00001% of the conversation over there? Only a couple people on there actually talk about it. He adamantly is against it. So it's funny. It's funny. Mariah, do you do the meal prepping by yourself or does Mama Swole help? I don't really do meal prep. I kind of do, but I don't. Because I'm here in the Swole hole a lot, I just kind of make the food on the spot. It is convenient because when I cook meat, I like it fresh. I like to cook it, the heat, boom, and then it's like I'm eating it right after, like I'm taking it right off a fucking flame. I feel like it's best when it's fresh. So I try to like eat in a time restricted window in general. So like I'll eat more of my calories. Like I haven't eaten calories today. I had some black coffee. So I will go to the gym. I'll have a sweet potato before I go to the gym. And then afterwards I'm going to smash. So most of my calories are within a certain time period. And that's not what I've always done. That's just what I do now because I'm doing so much content and I'm not going to sit like right now. It's like, what am I going to do? If I'm doing other work, I could be like, oh, cool. I'm editing and then I'm eating something, fine. But if I'm here and I'm doing the podcast, I'm not like, oh, eating on a podcast. I'm here for an hour or two and then I'm editing and then I'm out to the gym. So I'm not eating a full meal before I go. So there could be some other, it depends on my schedule for that day, but usually I'm eating later in the day. So I'll kind of cook and eat. But I'll do things like the steaks and stuff, but we both cook the bacon. She'll do certain things. So, we cook some things in more bulk. If you're doing white rice, you just make a bunch of it, just make a little bit for that moment in case you want to take some out later and mix it with some eggs or broccoli and things like that. Mario, what up, bruh? I am recovering from a lower back injury that I did to myself 2 days ago. Did yoga. Got distracted and twisted the wrong way like a dumbass. Ooh, any suggestions for a better, faster recovery? Did some mobility last night and stretching. I'm on week 4, day 6 of the 90-day dash. I feel amazing and I don't want to stop. Don't speed up recovery. Here's the thing. When you do yoga, and I've mentioned this many times, when you do yoga for the first time or you're new, this isn't your first time. I know you've been doing it for a while, but when you start doing a new type of practice, remember, it's like lifting weights. You're moving in a different direction. You have different stress on your body. That's different. The stress on your body is different than it has been before. So your body is actually getting used to using different muscles and twisting in different directions. So yoga is still stress on the body. It's not like you're doing yoga, so you're automatically recovering. You can hurt yourself doing yoga for sure if you progress too far, or like you said, you twisted the wrong way and you got distracted. So focus is everything. I would just take it slow, avoid pain, let yourself recover, and then get back into it. Stay consistent with what you can do. I don't know exactly the injury and what really hurts, but you don't want to fuck with your lower back. So I would ease up on it and focus more on foam rolling, maybe more on the yin yoga in Swolenormous X, my brother. And then once you feel up to getting back and like slowly ramping back up, do so, but don't rush it. Will we ever meet Mama? Maybe, baby. Melzy, I was told rice has the same effect as sweet potato in the starch absorption. Is it really less when eaten cold? I don't know about white rice, but I love cold sweet potatoes. I'm just speaking from personal experience, but in terms of like the actual interaction of the starches, that's the thing. Like this kind of conversation, it's interesting, right? It's interesting. Oh, the starch is less. Like I don't want to say for sure because I'm not a nutrition scientist in that aspect, but this is what I do and I like it better. So I think this is a great topic in terms of an example of what doesn't really matter. Okay. So with the internet, like these kinds of questions, does it really matter? Like, does it really matter to get results? Like the kind of results that the average person wants? Like these are the questions that we're talking about, but it's like that answer doesn't fucking matter really. It really doesn't. And it's cool to know, it's cool to find out or figure something out or have information. But this is one of those topics where that information isn't necessary because I've been doing it for a long time. And whether or not it's a starch or less or this, like I like it, it works for me. I think that's the most important thing we need to focus on an individual basis. You don't have to have all the answers. You need to be more curious and just be open to trying different things and actually put it into practice, right? I have this card here for myself. Execute more, do more, execute more, like do more shit, execute more, like take action more rather than asking and pondering. I wonder, not that you're doing it, Melcy. I'm just using this as an example, but do more. If you do it, you'll see. Hey, what do you think about this kind of dieting? I don't know. What do you think about it? Some things are stupid, but some things are like, but it's very easy to pursue too much information. It's very easy to pursue too much. Look, it sounds weird, but pursue too much knowledge. And what my point is, you pursue so much and you keep on looking for the better answer and looking, and it just gets you hung up. Like, don't look for information at the expense of taking action and applying some of the stuff. Because a lot of people keep on looking for answers and they don't apply the basics, and then they're just wasting time. Cersei, what up? Papa Swole, I travel about half the year around the US for work. Any recommendations for traveling and staying healthy? Also, my sleep pattern is all screwed up. Any advice? I would check out, because of your sleep schedule, like if you're going through different time zones and shit, I would check out blue blocking glasses for the evening so you can reset your sleep. You might want to look into other types of sleep aids like melatonin and stuff like that to maybe reset when you're going through different time zones. I don't do a lot of that anymore, so I don't really track that kind of stuff. But there are certain things that you could probably do that will help keep your schedule a little bit better, help you sleep or help you wind down. Usually exercise helps, consistent exercise. Every time I traveled, I would go and train and kind of, exhaust my body or get back into the routine. That was kind of always the reset. So you go and you gain a couple hours. Like when I went to California, I go to Gold's Gym and I'll lift for a couple hours, and it kind of helps you get back on that normal routine and kind of reminds your body, oh, okay, we're back into it. Traveling fucking takes a lot out of you. If you don't do it a lot, you get off a plane, it's like, wow, I'm fucking wiped. It's exhausting. You get used to it if you travel a lot, but it's really taxing on the body. Why doesn't Planet Fitness have barbells? Because they don't want you to drop the weight. They don't want people that are intimidating, scaring the members that don't want to work hard. What is my preferred video editing software? Well, my preferred video editing software is the only one that I've learned how to use, which is Final Cut Pro. If I could go back and relearn, I would probably like to have learned Adobe Premiere just because it's more versatile, but I didn't because I had a Mac when I started. So I did Final Cut Pro, and now I'm like, I'm not willing to go and like relearn all the little things about Premiere. So that's what I use. And it's not like, oh, this is better than that. It's just, that's what I started with and that's what I use now. Do I have any tips for beginners? Strength training in the gym. I go to Planet Fitness and do the PE classes, but my mind goes blank outside the classes. Yeah, you got to get a program. Get a fundamental training program. Get a good progressive program for all levels. Look, I'm just going to say it. Swolenormous X got that all for you. If you're interested, check out my website. But stick with the basics. Really, the basics work. Make sure you're doing your yoga, do your mobility, warming up properly. Your doing your nutrition right, lock it down, do an elimination diet if you need to. But strength training is very basic. You don't need the fancy shit. It's very easy to get distracted with all the fancy shit that someone's doing. And now you're doing the ropes and the chains and this, and you're throwing this, and you're doing HIIT training. And you're going to fucking knock yourself unconscious with too many different things. You need to adapt. Strength training is essential. Love it. Love it. Planet Fitness gives out free pizza. Hey, go there for free pizza, fam. Who doesn't want free pizza? Oh, yeah. Scrolling. Here we go. Rogan switches opinions every 5 minutes depending on who's talking. That's also true. That's well known. He'll have like a different response. Let's see here. Quinoa, yeah. I don't do it. I don't do quinoa. What's my best pre-training meal? I just have a cold sweet potato. I'm not, and look, I'm not recommending that to you. Just so you know, I'm not recommending that to everyone. Hey, you should do a cold sweet potato. That's what I do. Doesn't mean that's what you should do. I'm scrolling. Anthony, Christian, what up? Papa Swolio, do you think that all restaurant food establishments should have a requirement by law that menus should have calorie information on all items so people can make more informed choices when eating out? I think they would have that requirement if people were clamoring about it. They will do it, and they've done it. The reason why we have the information we have is because people complain or make a point and demand it. If the population demands it, they will. If the population demands that the laws be changed, eventually they'll change if enough people, but I don't think enough people give a shit, to be honest. I think that's the problem. People don't care or don't think they need to care, and that's why we're obese. I think that's why people just don't care enough. If they did, the laws would change. Look, we changed the laws about racism and about segregation. We changed the laws about women voting. We changed the laws about a lot of things because we're like, change it. We have marches and shit. No one's marching for nutrition facts. But that's what's going to determine whether or not you're getting fucking fat or not. Oh, this has more calories? Oh, if you knew that what you were eating had 1,500 calories, maybe you'd realize, oh, this is my entire day's worth of energy. Maybe that's why I'm 300 pounds overweight. I think they should, but I think the reason why they don't is because we're the reason, the public. We have to take responsibility as a society. We're not demanding it. And if people demand it, they'll do it. Oh, warm sweet potatoes are yummy. I'm not saying I would never eat one. I'm not saying you should never eat one. I'm just saying when I cook them, I cook like 10 or 15 at a time, and then I put them in the fridge. Like I'm not going to eat, sweet potatoes. I need 10 of them, but I'll make them and I'll take them out. I just don't heat them back up. Let's see. Stop broadcasting my executions. Oh no. I'm trying to get into yoga, but I'm pretty big and find it difficult to do a majority of poses that I found. Well, you don't just do poses. You do a yoga flow. Beginner with a fairly large gut. I think you do what you're doing. You do a yoga flow. You find a beginner flow. You could do it inside Swolenormous X. We have many beginner classes, or you can find something that you like online and then just modify and adjust and skip the ones if you can't do them, or modify and do the best that you can. That's really what it is. And if you have a fairly large gut, you would pair it up with the elimination diet wonderfully. You start losing some weight, start monitoring your caloric intake along with the elimination diet, which is going to be very easy because you're cutting out a lot of the foods that are very calorically dense and nutrient void. And then you just practice and do it. There are certain yoga poses that I can't do, or after a while I'll be holding downward dog in a class and I did arms the day before. So I'm like, and I'll drop down to a child's pose for 5 seconds, then get back into it. I use yoga for the mobility and the active recovery. I mean, it's great. Aaron, that's a good point. My phone has a blue light filter on 24/7, and I use blue blocking glasses at night. And if I take them off for a second, the blue light filter blinds me. It doesn't block for shit. You think it does? It does a little bit if you're not used to it. There's so much blue still coming through there. So I have, for those of you that are in Swolenormous X, I have that in my Amazon store. I have the glasses that I wear. They're fucking great. Like $30. They're like $30. They're amazing. Fucking great. They cut out so much of the wavelength for blue light that they're little blue LEDs around like my place where I thought it was broken and I realized I had the glasses on. It was blocking out all the blue. It's excellent. Really, 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 really helps me go to sleep at night for sure. Ready to moan and make people really uncomfortable during the next water break. What are you talking about? What's a water break? I don't get it. I'm confused. I want to lose fat and I know I need to be in a caloric deficit, but I'm really struggling with it because I weight train 4 days a week and it makes me so hungry. Well, maybe you're in too much of a deficit. I don't know what you're doing, Janelle. It's good. You know what? I'm going to make it. I'm going to say something right now that a lot of people aren't going to like. It's good to be hungry. Why should you always be satisfied? Like, this is where we are in fucking society. And this is nothing against you, Janelle. This is just the topic that is just bringing this point up to my fucking brain hole. We're too full. Like, you're not supposed to be satisfied all the time. You're supposed to be fucking hungry. When you're hungry, you're more alert. When you're hungry, you actually have more energy. You really do. You think, oh, when I'm full, now I can focus. No, you're supposed to be a little bit on edge. You're supposed to be fucking hungry. Like, as a human being, you're supposed to be going and hunting food. You're supposed, like, if you're in the wild, this is literally the things that we don't worry about are the fundamental things that a human being has always had to worry about for thousands of years. Like, it was always, we need to eat. It was hunger. Human beings were like dogs. Our whole day revolved around getting food, being hungry, thirsty, sleeping, eating. It wasn't being on Netflix. It wasn't sitting around debating fucking social politics. You know, it was about surviving. So your body is on survival mode. However, we're never on survival mode because we're always satisfied. We never have that feeling of hunger. So we think that hunger is an anomaly when it's normal. That's why you can live for a week or two without food. You need water, but if you can't find food, you can survive because you're designed to be without it. You're designed to go get it. I'm not saying don't eat for 2 weeks, by the way. Got a fucking disclaimer, the obvious things. But you're supposed to be hungry. It's okay to be hungry. It's good. Your body needs to be hungrier. That's why people are fat, because they're not hungry. Be hungry. But I'm hungry all the time. Good, because you're not eating. It's not magic. You're hungry because you're not getting enough food to maintain your body weight, so you're going to lose it. Math and science. Oh my. That was a good rant. Shame on the moon. When in relation to your workout should you stretch? I would do dynamic stretching before and after. Kind of like cool down, maybe some foam rolling after. I would do like static stretching later on the day, like yoga and stuff like that. I wouldn't do static stretching right before or right after a workout personally. Luxy Rocks on Twitch. Hey, Twitch fam, holla for the Twitch fam. Or I think Luxy Rocks is the only fam on Twitch. You're just the fam. We got a couple people on. We got a couple people on Twitch that tune in. I got to log into my Twitch account, see what's going on over there. I've been going to the gym since early this year, overloading machine weight training, eating healthy and sufficient protein, but I don't see much results in building muscle. Some tips. Then maybe you're not doing it right. Maybe you're not doing weight training properly. Maybe you're not eating enough, period. Any tips? Yeah, you got to figure out what you're doing. Do you know how many calories you're consuming? Do you know how much protein you're consuming? Do you know, like, are you actually training hard enough? A lot of people go to the gym. A lot of people train. A lot of people eat, or they think they eat healthy. A lot of people think they're eating enough protein, or they're getting enough sleep, or they're training hard enough and they don't build muscle. That's why most people don't have results. So I don't really have any tips because there's so, like, everything is a question. Like, I don't know anything about you. So it's a good question, but that's a very personal question that I don't answer or can't answer with the information that I have. Shiva Reuter, do you have any tips for training grip strength? Yeah, do farmer's walks, do deadlifts, do dead hangs, practice grip strength. It's that simple. I would also focus on strengthening your extensors, the muscles in the outer part of your forearm that open up your hand. Get one of those little gel things, those little gel webs. You can strengthen your extensors. Can you build muscle while in a deficit if you're fat? If you're a beginner or if you have a lot of fat to lose, it's possible. You know, if your nitrogen balance is proper. But I mean, I think that's more of a, if you just eat around a maintenance calories, around a maintenance and you're training hard, you can probably recomp a little bit. It's not really ideal for most people. If you're trying to lose weight, deficit, you're trying to gain weight overall, surplus. But if you have a lot of fat to lose, your body can potentially build muscle while in a slight deficit because you're eating less than what your body would need to maintain. And there's energy present because of your extra body mass, where your body can maybe source some of other functions from your existing energy stores. It's more common if you have if you're an average person like me, well, I'm just going to shred fat and build muscle. Yeah, if you're on sauce. But if you're new to the gym, if you're very overweight or you haven't been training for a while, it's more likely, more common, for beginners and stuff and people that have to lose a lot of weight. Calorie information is fat phobic. What's your elephant bar size? Elephant bar size? The fuck does that mean? He hates Zumba. I'm just kind of scrolling a little bit fast here. What do I think about companies like Herbalife? We answered that already. Let's see. Luxy Rocks, answered that already. I'm sorry when you say cold sweet potatoes, just raw or pre-cooked. Oh God, no, I'm just sucking on a fucking rock, like a raw sweet potato. No, it's cooked. It's baked, and then I put them in the fridge. Yeah, just fucking rock. Just sucking on a root. Just chew on it enough. Chew on it. I'm just seeing a lot of, make sure you put a question mark if it's not a question mark. If there's not a question mark, I'm probably going to miss it. I'm planning on doing content in Swole Vengers style. Any advice, equipment, etc.? What do you mean? What does that mean? Content Swole Vengers style. What does that mean? Do what you can with what you got. I don't know what do you mean in Swole Vengers style? Any thoughts on Zumba Egan? There is damage to the main What? Sorry, I have no idea what that says. I'm just going to not even address it. I don't know what you mean. Brandon, how do you figure out your deficit for calories? Well, how much are you consuming? I think the best way to do it is to start plugging in and figuring out what you're doing now and then adjust it. If you're not losing weight, you're not eating, you're eating too much. That's really how simple it is. And remember, it's not like day to day. We're talking over the course of a couple of weeks. So you only weigh yourself and you measure shit once a week at the most. So you can go online, Google, and use these generalized calculators, but the best way to do it is just to observe and adjust as needed. Depends on your muscle mass, depends on your size and your energy expenditure and so forth. You really figure that out easily just by application. Are you losing weight? Are you gaining weight? Okay, let me up it over the course of a couple of weeks. Let me up it 200 calories and see how it goes. Or let me up it a little bit more. Depends on what you're trying to do. Why don't you do vag jokes? I do them all the time. I talk about clam and twat and kicking and cunt punting people. I talk about that all the time. I'll hear about nuts and balls on my chin. I talk about slapping tits. I talk about female genitalia all the time. Scrolling. Papa Swolio scrolling. Probably missing some questions real high. Dynamic, static stretches. Static, you're holding. Dynamic, you're moving. It'll be like a lunge with a twist is a static stretch, or a dynamic stretch, and a static stretch might be soften your knees and bend and touch your toes. I want to try jujitsu. Cool. Go do it. Do I eat eggs? Yes. How would I incorporate hill sprints into a program like the 90-day dash? Do it on an active recovery day. I'm working on so much content for X to add in stuff for various programs like add-ons and snap-in programs and program lits, stuff like that. But you could do that on a leg day. You could also do that on active recovery day or on a random intuition day. So those are really good for active recovery days. Depends on what you're doing. Are you actually doing it for active recovery or are you doing it for explosive power? So you can do it after a leg workout and do hill sprints after, or do them in place of, depending on where you are in the split and how you've been adjusting the program. Nose itchy. Let's see. Maisha. Hey, Papa, is it okay to do a yoga quickie right before weightlifting? I actually prefer that. Members of Swole Enormous X, we do like Swollen 7. We do like a little mobility workout. You could also do 5, 10, 15 minutes of a little yoga flow. It's like dynamic stretching. It's really good. I do it too. I'll do like downward dog, upward dog. I'll do some lunging and twisting. I like it. It's a good part of a general warm-up. What do I think about Osterin? I don't know anything about it. I don't. Was that SARM, right? Something like that? I don't know enough about it. Golden Girl Fitness, are there actual classes on Swole Enormous X? What about nutrition plans? Yes. There are, for example, there's an entire yoga studio, and there's Swolga classes that I teach, and we're adding more every week. So although that's right, tomorrow, those of you that are in Swole Enormous X, we have an accountability meeting. Our weekly accountability meeting is at 12 noon, and we got some new releases that I'll be announcing, but I'll talk to you all in there tomorrow, but 12 noon Eastern time for the accountability meeting in the private Facebook group. And yeah, so there's all these different sections. So if you sign up for Swole Enormous X, you get instant access to your library, which walks you through it. So it's the fundamental. We have the 90-day dash program, which is scalable and it's for all levels. There's the program vault with additional customizations and new programs. There's the instructional video library. There's the yoga studio. There's the brain gains meditation section. There's the Swolga section. There's the virtual trainer with audio workouts with me. There's the Swollen 7 for mobility classes. There are master classes. There are a lot of different aspects to Swole Enormous X, and we're adding new stuff every week. I say every month, but it's really weekly. We're doing weekly releases. So new recipes, the nutrition section. So you'll have your entire breakdown of the elimination diet and the walkthrough. So you get the nutrition jumpstart manual, and you'll also get all these little breakdowns of different lifestyle approaches, macro breakdowns for different things. If you want to approach keto or vegan or paleo, X, Y, and Z. And then there's also a recipe archive. But we do a lot of that stuff also in the private group. People are sharing recipes and stuff because there are just billions on Google. So I put in some really cool ones that I like and things that really help and give people ideas, but we share a lot of that also in the private community. So there's a ton of support and stuff like that for people that are maybe you don't have that with your family or people around you. So it's a really amazing community. We call it the FAM, right? The Fit Acceptance Movement. That's the new acronym. We're using FAM. FAM is the Fit Acceptance Movement. We're the FAM. Danny, what do you think about using pasteurized egg whites as a base for meal replacement shake instead of almond milk? I don't like pasteurizing shit. I think the benefits of eggs are actually probably in the yolk, not the egg white. So I don't think much of it. I don't like the pasteurization aspect. But you could. I mean, you're getting more protein, that's for sure. Oh, awesome. Already lost 6 pounds in Swole Enormous X over 2 weeks. Good for you. What's Papa Swolio up to? She's next door being a beesh. Being a beesh. All I could think about is pizza. Scrolling through. Let's see here. Going to goat yoga. Oh, God. Goat yoga. Do yoga. You're welcome, Adam. Swolga Gravity with my girl. Thanks for all the great content, X. I love the gravity classes. I got some more of those coming. I've been doing some. I'll talk about this with the with all of you that are in X. I'll talk about this tomorrow in the accountability meeting. I have some things that I want to let you all in on. There's some stuff that I've been doing behind the scenes, like to restructure my approach, and there's things I want to work on in terms of shifting how I'm creating my content and things I'm talking about. So that's going to make a big difference in all the best ways for those of you that are in X. Super excited. Doubling and tripling down. We're going ham. We're going ham this next quarter in Swole X. How much can I bench press? I don't know. Not that much. Have I done any work on decreasing visceral body fat levels? You mean around my organs? What do you mean any work? That's so vague. What's the most you can lift in weights? What the fuck kind of a question? No, we're not doing that. It's stupid. That's a dumb question. How much can I lift? I don't know. Like, what's my max? I could tell you maybe what I have done in the past. I don't try to lift super heavy now. How lighthearted I keep the yoga? What do you mean? When I was doing, which ones? The ones in the 90-day dash or like the ones in Swolga, in the Swolga section? Do I have testimonials? Sure, there's testimonials. If you go on the website, there's a few on the main page and there's some on the membership page. I mean, honestly, I just need to put the time in to like add more, but I didn't want, here's the thing. Like I do need to have more testimonials on there. Like there are plenty available. I have so many I just didn't want my website to be like, oh, here's 1 billion fucking testimonials. Cause in the past I was like, oh, it's kind of cheesy just to have so many, but that's actually just social proof. So, you know, I put some on there, but I didn't want it to be all like, it works. It's great. I mean, this podcast is essentially testimonials. You see a lot of people that are members that are loving it. But yeah, there's stuff on the website. Any questions, send us an email and stuff like that. Happy to answer questions. Kella, saw your nuts on my chin video. Nuts on my chin, but I'm confused as to where you thought you spoke out of line on the Ellen video. Oh, well, here's the thing. I didn't really, I said, I want just to clarify that here. I don't think it was a sloppy video. I didn't really pay attention closely to the edit, and it's just not how I would have ideally wanted to do. I don't disagree with any of my points, just maybe the absolute nature of like that one about the environment. Because I don't know what's best for the environment exactly. I don't think animal foods is like, oh my God, it's the animal industry. I don't think it's like that. Like, oh, that's the answer and everyone freaks out. I think that people really do freak out about that a lot more. But I made a very absolute statement where I'm like, it's not fucking the environment. And I didn't have any facts to back. I just kind of was like ranting about her not being a nutritionist, and it just kind of bled over into like the rest of the video. But I don't disagree with my points, just the manner in which I made an absolute statement. I would have probably said the same thing, but I would have left it more open-ended for discussion. So it was just me. It was just like the actual delivery on it. But the other stuff, I'm not taking back. It's not an apology video. I saw some people mentioning it in the comments like, oh, it's the best apology. No, I'm not apologizing. I'm not sorry for what I said. I'm not sorry for it. I was just clarifying my points. The only reason I did that is because I didn't like the way I said it. I didn't like what I posted. I'm not going to delete the video, but I didn't like the way I said it myself. I'm like, oh shit, I shouldn't have posted that way. I should have edited it better or changed or whatever. So that was why. People can think what they want, but there's a reason why I didn't say sorry. It's not an apology video. It was just clarifying what I meant to say, what I meant to talk about. I know some people were like, yeah, well, no, that's the thing. I don't think that's why I wasn't apologizing for it. It was a clarification video, which is why I wasn't like, I'm sorry. I ain't sorry. I just would have been more specific and talked about only the nutrition aspect of it, because that's really what I had a problem with. Like the environment, like other people can deal with that shit. You know, whatever. A lot of things are bad for the environment. It's not just agriculture. People always want to watch a documentary and think that's the answer. And I was just clarifying that that's not my area of expertise. And I meant the video to be mostly about her not being a fucking nutritionist. You know, I thought it was funny. I'm like, well, I'll put nuts on my chin. Fuck it. I mean, I don't, it's my opinion. I think people forget that my content is literally opinion based, but I wanted to remind everyone that I do like want it to be, doesn't have to necessarily be all factual. It's very opinionated and it's supposed to be comedy. It's entertainment. However, when I watched the video a couple more times, I'm like, fuck, I didn't like the way it was done for me. I have rubbed so many people the wrong way with my content. That's not the thing. It was just me, the way I said it. And the absolute, I wasn't satisfied. So that's why I made the clarification video. But it's not an apology at all. I don't know why so many people blew up though, Dash, and people took your follow-up video as an apology. You should have said that more clear that you weren't sorry. No, I just didn't address it because it's not why would I have to say I'm not sorry? I didn't apologize. People are going to think whatever the fuck they want. It's not an apology video. And I'm saying it right now. I didn't say once that I was sorry. I said I was out of my lane. I was talking about the environment. I don't know the facts, and I'm not an environmental expert. And I think people should be eating less calories. That's the only reason why they should be eating less meat, because they should be eating less meat and less plants and less fucking food. I don't think people should stop eating meat. I don't think that's the answer. It was an apology. That's why I didn't say sorry. It was a clarification. It's a comedy video. So people took it seriously. So I was like, okay, let me clarify the point. Because the main point that I wanted to make is like, don't tell me not to eat is better for my fucking health, Ellen. I'll say it again and I'll make another video. I'll go just as fucking hard. I'm not going to change anything. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. Yvonne, I'm taking a beginner's kickboxing class 2 days a week, and it's good for endurance, but what can I do for strength training that isn't overtaxing? Would calisthenics? Lifting weights. Strength training is not overtaxing. If you're lifting properly, it's called progressive overload. You overload your body progressively, so it's not overtaxing. Hey, Papa, how do you combat people who falsely negatively review your product? Who does that? Who falsely negatively reviews my product? What product? You mean Swolenormous X? Who negatively reviewed it? I haven't seen one. Or are you asking like, I've addressed this on issues for people that like, I'm curious. You might want to follow up on that because I haven't seen anyone leave a negative. There are some people that like do it for a month. They sign up. A lot of people that sign up for programs in general or program communities, because this is more, Swolenormous X is more than a program. You're getting like, it's not just a fitness program. It's an entire fucking platform with like additional shit all the fucking time, like all aspects of your nutrition and health, as many as I could fucking cover. So people sign up and then people stop after a month sometimes. I can't control that. I can't control it. They have all the access to, you know, myself or my team and the community. They just don't do it. You can't force someone to work out. But if someone, most of the people or anyone that quits, like, oh, it's not for me, they didn't start. They didn't do anything. So what bothers me about people that do program jumping or, you know, they sign up for different things is usually that's what they do. They never take actual fucking action. So they say, oh, it doesn't work for me or it's not for me. Or this is not what I expected. Of course it's not what you expected because everything you expected you're aware of and nothing has fucking worked. So it's not working for you. That's why you signed up. So of course it's something different. It should be because everything you've done doesn't fucking work. That's the whole point. But people aren't always that intelligent and self-aware. They don't realize, oh, the reason why I haven't gotten results with this program is because I didn't even fucking start it. That's why. A lot of people, because I can see, I don't know if I can see when people open it up. I can see when people open up the program. I can see when people open up. Yes, Swolenormous X claimed what video? They had major complaints. Pfft, I don't give a shit. I guarantee I will go in and that person has only opened up like one file. Nicholas, send me a message. I'd love to see that. This has happened so many times because people will hop in and then completely fucking not do it and then complain. Well, it's a 90-day dash program. That's the fundamental program. So unless you're doing it, because you have to complete the videos and I can see if you watched a video and if you didn't, then you didn't fucking do it. And if you didn't fucking do it, then of course you're not going to get results. So it's like, get over it. I agree with that, Citrine. I agree. To me, they never bought the program and were making false accusations. Well, that's it too. If they never joined, look, you can talk shit about Swolenormous X and have never joined. Like, I can't stop you from talking shit. But if you've never joined it, you're just being an asshole. How do you fucking know? And if you don't do it, then how do you know if it does work? I know because thousands of people love it. So one person doesn't like something. Okay, fine. You know, doing stuff online isn't for everyone. Some people need someone to fucking kick them in the balls and be like, stop eating shit. Some people need someone to live with them. Some people need to actually figure out what makes them happy in their life. So I can't control what people are having issues with their marriage or with their job at home. People are grumpy and stressed out for all sorts of reasons. Who knows? Lisa, you could do both. You could do both. A lot of the demos and stuff are done in a gym, but it's just arbitrary if you want to do the exercise at home. You can swap them out. You can do a bench press at home. You can swap it out. And I'm always adding new videos to the instructional video library. Like you can swap out exercises, and that's why we also have the community. So if you need like an adjustment or, hey, what can I do instead of this? You post up and then we answer. So there's a lot of different things you can swap out. There's a whole workout archive and instructional videos that you can swap in and out. They went to my customer service and never received a response. It depends on where they sent a message. Some people send emails or it's on the website. Like the contact is on the website and there's also live chat on the website. So if they go and they try to find or they try to message, they probably messaged me on like Instagram or something, or they sent a Facebook message. I mean, that's like general. We get swamped with like public messages, but the reason why we have a support email and a live chat and a private Facebook group is for that reason, because we have separate small private channels where members can get feedback a lot faster and we can target people that are actually asking questions or having issues or whatever, if there is an issue. You know, when you have like thousands of people doing something and like one or two people, it's just user error more often than not. And some people aren't really technologically savvy and they sign up for something and they don't understand, oh shit, this is digital and I don't understand how to use a phone or understand how to use a computer, and they don't know how to find a contact email like on the website. So it's okay. Can't make everyone happy all the time. We try, but that's just part of having a business. Thank you, Donna. Thank you. I appreciate it. See, look, now we got testimonials. Actually, for those of you that are in Swole Enormous X, I think we're actually doing another round of testimonials. I'm going to have some people on the podcast too. We'll talk about that in X. I got a couple people coming on for the podcast. When you found out how many crybabies as subscribers that you have, it must have sucked. What do you mean? Oh, for the video? Oh, for that? Oh, people are crybabies about everything. But like I said, the reason why I clarified is because I did make an absolute statement that I don't agree with. I don't agree with me saying like it's not bad for the environment. There are a lot of things that are bad for the environment, and I am not an environmental expert, so I don't disagree. I think people should be eating meat. I think people should be eating grass-fed beef. I think that the farming and the mass production of cattle and stuff, I think it's bad. And I think it needs to get fixed. I don't think we should stop eating animals. I think we should be fucking fixing the structure of our entire food system. But it's like, where do you start with that? I'm not an expert. I don't have all the fucking details. I don't have all the stats. And it's like, I spoke absolute out of line and I wasn't satisfied with my delivery. In my opinion, I made a sloppy video and I brought in other topics and just kind of like lumped it together in my rage. That's why I clarified. I'm not sorry. And I don't think much differently than what I said. I just wanted to clarify that one point, which I did in that video. And if people want to take it however they have it, they can take it. I just realized in the comments it was about that one topic. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? They're right. So you're right. It got a majority thumbs up. So most people agreed. Most people understood the video and like the intent behind it. But of course, some people didn't. And I did it as clickbaiting. And I did it as a trending topic. And I did attack a figure that everyone loves. And it's like, I expected that. I was curious. I like pushing the envelope. I like rubbing people the wrong way. But I just wasn't satisfied with my own edit in retrospect. So I clarified it. Dun, 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 dun. Is there a list of must-haves like weights, etc.? I hate to buy and then have to wait and go out and get the stuff. Well, what do you got, Greg? I mean, you don't need much. Like if you have a bench and some dumbbells, you're totally good to go. I mean, a yoga mat, stuff like that. I do have some stuff on the website. Like, it depends. Like, if you're doing it all at home, just need some dumbbells and a bench would be beneficial. But if there's anything you do need to get, they need to swap out or modify. A lot of it at the beginning is stabilization oriented. So it's a lot of free weights. If you have some basic bands and some basic weights at home, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. That's some content that I want to add to the site, maybe some specifics like that, but it's very versatile. You don't need much. Gabe the Barber, do you offer just a nutritional program? Not a program, but I do have some. If you're on the mailing list, if you have the ebook, a lot of times I'll send out little notifications for things like little nutritional trainings. There is a nutrition jumpstart manual that sometimes is available depending on the time and depending on, for a limited time, we'll have like the elimination diet breakdown available in a manual. You could also message us on Facebook too. Send us a message on the Facebook page and can send you a link to that. Just mention I said so on the podcast. I'll send you a link. Let's see. Pop, my gym only has Smith machines, no barbells. Any exercise I should avoid with it? Oh, avoid with a Smith? It depends, I'm not a big fan of like doing squats and stuff like that on a Smith just because it locks you in position. You can do something safer. It really depends on your body's mobility and how you're able to get into those positions. I mean, it's possible you can use it. It just locks you into position. So when you're doing an upper body pressing movement, it depends. Like, the more mobility and the better posture you have, the less those types of exercise will be negative for you. But a lot of people have like tightness and limitations. They go on these machines and it just kind of exacerbates those problems. So it really depends on your own personal movements, but I'm not a big fan of squats or stuff like that on a Smith, because the joints don't just move up and down, like they rotate and twist. And when your hands are locked in position, but if you have no barbells, you kind of do what you have to do. So you might have to use a Smith, but I prefer, like, if I was going to do a press on a Smith, I would do it on an incline rather than do it on a flat. Oh, thanks, Mario. Appreciate it. Great plug. Thanks, dude. That's why I do it annually, because everything in Swole X is amazing and helps me change the way I live my life and to take care of my well-being and my health. I'm a member for life. Well, bro, that's why I really feel like the annual, if you really want to commit, if you really want to get results, it's not going to happen in just a couple months. You'll just get like your fucking dick wet. You'll get really excited. You'll get on a roll. You'll get on a flow. And that's why the next couple of weeks, you're going to hear me talking a lot about fuck your resolutions, because I'm running a big old push for the next 3 months. I want people to start. I want people to jump inside and jump into Swolenormous X like today. Today, this week, this month. I want you to be on January 1st. I want you to be 3 months in. Why wait to January 1st? This is a time of year where people need to lock shit down. This is where people need to this is where people need to plug in. You don't want to be starting on January 1st. You should be 3 months in and rolling. And everyone's like, oh, resolutions. Like, fuck you. I did mine 3 months ago. Beaches. How do I feel about canned sardines? Sardines are great. I have sardines in the closet. I haven't had them in a little while, but sardines are great. The can throws you off. Just get BPA free. You can get wild, sustainably farmed sardines, BPA free cans. You can get really quality sardines. There you go. Lisa said so. BPA free canned food. Sardines are nauseating. Yeah, it's an acquired taste for a lot of people. What are your views on fasting? Ever tried it? Sure. Like, what kind of fasting? Like multiple days? Zercher squats. Is that the one where like you hold it under your arms? I don't do them. My opinion on them? I don't know. I just don't do them. I'm not sure what the point is aside from like deadlifts and doing front squats or back squats. I haven't found the need to add them to my routine at all, but I've seen people do them. Like, oh, that looks like it hurts. that looks painful. That looks painful for people. Yeah, let's do more of that. That looks like it hurts. It looks like it sucks. Are we thirsty? I got to go to the gym in a little bit, so I need to make sure I'm not like dehydrated. I don't think I've drank enough water today. Let's get a little water break, fam. Everyone, chug it up. Awkward noises. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. Well, now I'm hydrated as fuck. Finished. Solve that problem. Solve that equation. Let's see. Yes. Oh, shit. Fasting a lot for autophagy, meaning what? Like, I know what autophagy means, but autophagy. But what do you mean fasting long enough? Like, give me an hour thing, and I'll let you know if I've done it before. What type of programming is on your site? Is it push-pull? Planet Fitness, would I have? Yes, you would. Absolutely. You'd have the equipment needed. I mean, you don't have any free bars, but you can just modify and swap out anything that you couldn't do with like a barbell with dumbbells. Excuse me. That's all we do, Mario. We learn from mistakes and move on for sure. Swolenormous X is full of amazing concepts that you are constantly building upon. I agree. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. I'm going to talk tomorrow about some of the stuff that I'm going to be adding. I have so much content that I'm going to do. I'm doubling down. I want to talk a little bit more about like my approach for X. James, how do I change my membership to yearly from the quarterly membership? You can send us an email, support@swolenormous.com. Send us an email and we'll help you do that. What you'll probably do is sign up for the yearly. We'll hook you up with that, and then we'll take care of the quarterly. So that's usually how it will work, depending on where you are in your membership cycle. So I want to make sure that you're not like getting billed, and then we'll work it out or take care of that as needed. So yeah, James, just send us an email. Shame on the Moon, what do you think about drinking green tea before you work out since it's a diuretic? Well, caffeine can work similar way. It's the caffeine. What do I think about drinking green tea? What do you think about it? Do you like it? I don't drink green tea before I work out. I think straight green tea tastes like asshole. I like it when it's usually in a blend of tea, but straight green tea, it's just like bitter. I know there's better green teas out there. I have nothing against green tea for the record, but I do like those. I don't even know how to pronounce them. Like those. You have the Tazo teas and you have like the puka teas and all these different kinds. I love those things. Teas are great. I had some last night. Caffeine free, of course, because Papa Swole needs his beauty rest. Beauty rest when I'm going to sleep at like fucking 2 a.m. Good Lord. One of my non-scale victories from Swolenormous X is I can now do an actual push-up, not just on my knees. Seems small, but I've never done one before. That ain't small. To go from not being able to do a body weight exercise to being able to, that's huge. That's massive. You're welcome, James. Fast for more than 36 hours. I believe I have done it. I've done that. I've done 36. I've done at least 24, 36. I haven't done like 2-3 days or anything like that. You might not know this because you aren't an endocrinologist. Well, thank you. Anytime that there's hormones, that's having low estrogen levels make it more difficult. Anytime, just like guys having low testosterone levels, when you have hormone imbalances or as you're getting older, you can have issues with weight loss. So it's important to address why you're having that issue and what your proper levels should be. And then you can look at maybe whether there's some therapy you need to do or dietary or lifestyle changes that you can make. High grade green tea is shit hot, and yeah, puka tea is the bee's knees. I like it. Bim, bim, bim. How much is an annual membership? I believe on the website it's $247 for the year. You can go to swolenormousx.com and click on memberships. So it'll break down. It'll show you everything that is offered, everything that's available, and it kind of breaks it down. You'll see testimonials and you'll see some all the things that are added included. But what's really dynamic about what I wanted to create inside Swolenormous X is the fact that it's not just a program. And the structure, for those of you that are even members, it's hard to explain like, hey, there's so much changes and so many things that are coming. It really is, because it's only been, it's almost been 2 years. So it was created, and after the first year, did a complete overhaul, changed a lot of things. And now it's just a matter of slowly but surely adding tons and tons and tons of content. So you're getting new stuff, you're getting new classes. It's not like a static program where it's like, oh, you get this and you get this and it's this, boom, you're done. It's like archives and libraries and additional classes and new updates and new videos and new recipes and new programs and stuff that I'm working on. Some of you asked like when the new programs are coming out. Like I want to get, for those of you that are members, of course, I'm going to give you access real soon. I can't give you a date. We'll talk more tomorrow in the accountability meeting, but to the beta program, I want some people to go in there and start testing it out, because some of these programs are so detailed that I want to get people just kind of like getting through the framework and starting to piece it together before I finalize and put finishing touches. So it's really a community-based a community-based fitness family with all these different aspects. So you do have educational classes, you do have accountability meetings, you do have access to the yoga studio and mobility and 7-minute mobility sessions. So you can just kind of like, hey, I only have 5 or 10 minutes. I can do something quick. You can go in and just pick a random workout in the workout archive, or you can do a set schedule. You can customize your own program. You can, slap and mix and match your yoga classes in your routines and in your programming. So I teach you how to design your own program. I give you things that you can just kind of plug and play, all different aspects. I want to satisfy everyone's needs. So whether you're beginner or advanced, you can take and kind of piecemeal and customize your program, or you can pick one and just go and do it. You can go in and swap out an exercise in the video library. Hey, I need a new chest exercise. Go to the chest section, pick one out. You got the video breakdown and like a training GIF if you want quick reference and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. I shouldn't say it's pretty cool. It's fucking awesome. But it's like, for me, I'm like, with a lot of my content, I have to like shut down that perfectionist aspect, because if I'm too much of a perfectionist, things don't get done. So I look at it and I fucking love it. And I think it's amazing. And I only have the highest like things to say about it. But deep down, I'm like, it's not good enough. Like there's always something I want to do. So like, I just really want more. I wish I could just like flip a switch and just fucking like have everything that I want there. But it's just like filming and editing and upload. It's a rolling thing. It's not going to happen overnight. So I'm excited. Fucking love the shit out of it. Linda, can more than one family member be part of the same membership account? You can add on a family member without any additional sign-up fees and stuff like that for a fraction of the cost. So you can add someone on and have their own membership. You can look, I mean, I can't stop anyone from sharing an account, but you're only going to have you're only going to have one access to the Facebook group. So it's under one Facebook account. So you're only going to be able to comment as one person. So they're not going to be able to like engage with the community in their own manner. So I make it, there's also a link. When you sign up, there's an option to add a family member to your account, and you don't have to pay like the membership fee and stuff like that, the sign up fee. You can just tack them on. And it's a fraction of the monthly for what is for one person. And it's also pinned in the announcement section in the private Facebook group if you want a link. But it's just, like you can have, like they could just have your login, but it could get complicated if someone is trying to like post as you, but it says, what was your name? Linda. And then someone's posting under Linda, but they're not Linda. It's kind of weird. Yeah, dude, I know. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It seems like for me, it seems like Swole X has been around for like 10, 15 years. And it seems like, oh my God, there's not much in it. Like from my standpoint, I feel like there's not much in it, but there is a lot. There's a fucking shit ton in it. It's just my image of it is like up here where I want to take it. And I don't really explain to everyone all the things I'm adding to it, but it's just getting started. And it's only been, it hasn't been 2 years yet. It's been like a year and a half. Really. So if you can imagine like how much is in there already, and it's happening. Fucking, I get so much. It's so much more shit. Like you see the board behind me over here. It says Q&Anus. I have another whiteboard over here. It's like I keep on erasing it. I just have to rewrite things and ideas. I'm like, oh, do this. Oh, do this. Oh, do this. Oh, add this. So much shit. Thank you, Paul. Agreed. Jerry sings. Agreed. Those of you that are in, and another big announcement for those of you that are in Swolenormous X already, for those of you that are like, hey, I've recommended it to people and they've said, cool, I want in. Going to be talking tomorrow in the accountability meeting about the affiliate program. So for those of you that are members, and it's for ex-members only, you can be a part of the affiliate program and actually bring people in, and you sign up a couple people and you actually pretty much have a free membership. So it's the best way that to grow the community is to have the awesome people that are a part of it to share it with friends and family. So if you're interested in it and you're actually sharing it or telling people about it, this is just another way for like you can actually share your own link. And then for those of you that are looking to bring people in or to recommend it to someone else, but that's for members. So we'll talk about it tomorrow in the accountability meeting. Brennan, what are the age restrictions for Swolenormous X? My daughter's 15. I would like to get her excited about being healthy with me. What do you mean about age restrictions? Like, I mean, I might swear. I don't really, it's not like, Swolenormous X is not like the YouTube channel, but inside like the private Facebook group, if I say something, it's really tame. It's not vulgar or anything like that. In terms of age restrictions for the exercise, 15's fine. You know, you're still going to have to it's always at your own risk. It's always, you know, you have to make sure that you don't have any contraindications with your health. But if you're 15 years old and you're practicing mobility and yoga and stabilization, it's not going to stress you. Like it's a perfect place for someone who's, you know, trying to change their lifestyle and to learn how to train properly. And also for more advanced that are trying to reapproach their mobility with their strength training. If you're getting back into it after a while, or you are, you know, having these like recurring injuries and problems. So there's a lot more like advanced programs that I'm releasing that I'm working on. But the 90-day dash is like the foundational program, but that's designed for all levels. So it's scalable. So it's 15 is definitely a good age for it. It's not going to be like, oh, fucking murderous, like hardcore, heavy deadlifting. It's not like that. Not unless you want it to be. Itches. Got some hair in my nose. If it's not my hair, it's not my top hair, it's not my beard hair, it's like Papa Swole because I bite her and she gets hair in my nose. I have like something like, what's this? It's like a white hair. Yeah, that's legal stuff. They won't let her in until she's 18. I mean, a lot of gyms, if you're under a certain age, you have to have parental supervision, but I think it's fucking crazy how we're discouraging kids from having a place to exercise. I don't think kids should all be like lifting heavy weights, but I think it's discouraging if you don't have the ability for kids to learn how to do fitness properly. She thinks I'm hilarious. Then you're fine. You're good. Runa, if you have a question about that, if you're looking for, let's say, to add on for an annual, send us an email and put that in the title and mention this podcast and, you know, having this discussion. And if you want it's available right for anyone else. If you're signing up, you want to add someone, it's available at checkout for the monthly, but for the annual, send me a message and I'll set something up for that. So you can add someone, you can sign up as annual and then add someone monthly. But if you're looking to do, you know, that, just send us an email and I'll handle it and I'll give you the information. What don't I like about CrossFit? I have fun with it. I have fun in terms of like talking about it, but I don't think it's great I don't think it on the most part is ideal for the majority of people that do it. But people love community. People love that kind of, you know, trying to hit a PR and have a record and set a better time. And you go there and you hang out. It's your private community. It's like Swolenormous X. It's like we have this community here and you have a community there. And some people like to go to sewing class and some people like to go to jujitsu and some people like to go bike riding and you see like 20 people cycling on the side of the road. People like different things. So I think it's a very high risk. I think a lot of the programming is ludicrous and unnecessary. And with social media, it tends to be something where people start treating fitness to get views and to get attention. And that's where fitness has kind of gone off the rails. So there are a lot of, I'm sure, CrossFit gyms that do things progressively, that have good setups, that can actually, that don't do a lot of the stupid stuff that it's popular for. But, you know, I think it's more for someone who is more advanced with training and has a lot of these things figured out. But can you gradually, properly prepare someone to do it? Yeah, more than others, sure, but it's still going to be high risk. So I really don't think it's ideal for most people. But, you know, in terms of sustainability, but it depends on how it's carried out. You could do it with a strong focus on yoga and recovery and not do a lot of the dumb type of like every minute on the minute things and all these. It's just, it depends. It depends. It always depends on how it's applied. And I do think CrossFit has a lot of good applications, especially for military and police, where there is like actual chaos and things that you have to handle. But it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of metabolic stress, a lot of physical stress, and there's a lot of risk. Fitness is risk. Exercise is risk. Hey, Papa, does a sauna really make you feel tired after a good long session? I feel like that have a cold shower, then feel like $1,000,000. Yeah, you can feel drained after the sauna, kind of like a zen. It's kind of like a hot yoga class where you just kind of feel wiped out, but a cold shower would definitely bring you back into it. Sure is. The fitness acceptance movement, the fam. Hiccups. What are my thoughts on gyms having pizza nights? I think it's a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke. It's an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke. I'd done a video on that on YouTube a long time ago, probably 2 years ago or so. It's a fucking joke. Absolute fucking joke. All right. I have to go get my sun's kind of going down a little bit. It's time for me to go get my pump on. Anyway, we got a brand new Ask Papa Swole coming tomorrow, and new content, of course, this week on the Swolenormous channel. For those of you that are interested in learning more about Swolenormous X, go to swolenormousx.com, and you can also email us. Just go to the website and contact us. Happy to answer any questions. And let's see. I'm gonna do some upper body, gonna do some upper titties. You can follow me on TikTok over at Papa Swole. Make sure also to subscribe to the podcast. If you don't catch the live streams, make sure you go subscribe. Click on podcast in the main menu on swolenormousx.com. You can subscribe on Apple. You can subscribe on Spotify. Make sure you check it out there. You can catch up. You can listen while you train. You can listen while you lift. You can listen while you, I don't know, walk the dog and stuff like that. And also make sure you follow me over on Instagram on all those accounts, because I do go live and shoot the shit with you now and again. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It's nice and quiet. No fucking FM radio. Feels good. Let's see here. Anything else I want to say? Anything else that's good? Anything else that I want to address? I think not. All right, fam. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 1234 of the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gaincast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. See you tomorrow for 12:35. Remember, Swolenormous members, Swolenormous X members, we have an accountability meeting, 12 noon Eastern time. Don't miss it. And I'll see you for 12:35. Peace, McGee's, deuce, Magoose, your boy, Papa Swole. Out.